Welcome to another Parts Factory Australia installation tutorial video. Today we're working on this 2016 to 2020 Hyundai Tucson SUV. Specifically, we're going to be changing the right and front window regulator. The whole unit, we're going to pull the whole thing off, put the new one on, and hopefully we have a functioning window once again. Now guys, before we do get started, we have this part available at Parts Factory Australia. So if you do need it, I'm going to put the link in the description of the video. You can click on the title, the pop down will pop down, and you can click on the link, cruise onto the website, check it out. I'll give you a little look before we do start. Alright guys, this is how it's going to come. We're going to deliver it to your door, free of charge. Yeah, as I said, $298.30, $99.30, but yeah, other than that, I'm going to show you that once we get further into it. I'll put them side by side so you can have a look, but if you do need it, check it out. But other than that guys, I'm thinking this job's going to take about 35 minutes. I'm not sure if you need pot rivets, but of course we're going to work that out as we go anyway. So, alrighty guys, let's jump into it. Right guys, so we need to start by getting this door card off here. Straight away I've seen a little screw on the inside of this pocket. So you just put a little flathead screwdriver in, and you just pop that little flap up, leave it in a popped up position, and then use a Phillips head screwdriver to throw your, get your Phillips head screw out. You can leave that screw in the door card, but I've grabbed it out. I'm going to stick it on the floor, and you run your hands around the edges, and if you can't find any other screws, you can grab your flathead, bring it into the center here, and just pop it up like that, and you'll find the entire door card is just going to pop up like so. Now this little plastic trim, technically you don't have to pull it off, but I'm going to do it anyway just to make it a bit easier. They're just one-way clips, so you just pop that out of the way, lift your door card up, your door card's going to hang off. Alright, so it's now time to grab these little door handle inserts out. I'm going to have a quick look at them. Let's have a look. Oh yep, so you just press down on that tab and these pop up into the air, and that can just be put to the side. Now same thing here, you got a little button, press down, pull it out. Same thing here guys, little button, you can use your flathead screwdriver, press it through, pop it out, and the same thing on the master control switch. You're going to have a little button, press it in and pop it out. Now that last one, you just press through there, and that little button depresses, and you can just move this door card out of your way, stick it on the ground face up so it doesn't get damaged. Okay, so this is your window regulator, your whole assembly here. Now there's two beams that run up and down vertically, but in order to get this entire door card, this entire piece this way, you actually have to disconnect it from the glass. And to access the glass, you got to go through these little plastic grommets, 1 and 2. Now, at this point, I'm not sure what's wrong with your window regulator, but it's most likely that the wiring has snapped on the inside. If it has snapped, you can actually just grab your glass through these ports, or take this speaker off, and I'm going to do it just so I can show you, because it's one thing for me to be doing this with a functioning window reg, but it's another for you to be doing it with a broken one. So we're going to remove this speaker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Making sure you don't puncture a hole with your little drill. And you can see your door glass in there now. If your window regulator's busted, you could just put your hand through and lift that door glass up and down. And when you lift it up and down, you can then access the little screws that we're going to be able to see through this hole. So that's the trick. That's probably what most of you are going to be here for. So if that's what you're here for, that's exactly how you do it. Now, this window regulator is functioning, so I'm going to use the window regulator, move it up into position, undo the screws, and remove the door glass, just to show you how that might work. Right guys, so I grabbed my door card, I brought it back over, plugged in the switch, key on, and brought it up. So if you have a look through there, you can see the little Phillips head screws, literally straight through there and here. Now that allows us to now undo the screws and lift the door glass straight out of the door. But try not to use a Phillips head because it'll just round the ends. It's looking like a 12mm nut on a little rattle gun. Right, so I'm going to start on this end, little 10mm. Back are loose. Yep, and the screw wants to come entirely out of the window. So do one, and then of course the second one. If you do drop it in there, it's not the end of the world because we're going to be removing this entire panel anyway. Let's see if I can get mine out without dropping it. It's just sitting there. Oh God. Perhaps like a magnet or a pair of pliers. I've got a little magnet, guys. You can just magnet that little bolt out. So once you have your 2 screws out, you can just grab your glass, pull it up into the air, taking it on the outside of the door, and it just pops up out of the way like so. Alrighty guys, so at this point, it's now time to remove this entire black panel. So these wires are going to have to feed through the black panel. So you've got to grab this plastic housing and just pull the 2 wires off, taking the little housing, sticking it out of your way. Now you've got a few more bits and pieces to do. You got your little airbag sensor, so your impact sensor. You can just unplug that, like so. You're going to need a little screwdriver because you're going to be undoing these all this wiring off this panel here. And just kind of press down on the tabs on each side and pull it through, hopefully. 1, got to do every single one, so it's a bit of patience involved. 2, on each side there's a little tab you just press down. You don't really want to damage these because you want to be reusing them, having everything OEM. See, I'm just going around, pressing each one, pulling up on them, and they pop out. And of course the final step is to remove the actual motor itself. You can just press down on the plugs on each side, and there it is there. Now you can undo this grommet here and look through, but I can't feel anything within the area there without taking this panel off. So we're going to have to pull the panel off and then unplug. Yeah, don't worry about doing this one at the top, that's got nothing there. Okay, so it's now time to use your 10mm. I'm going to go around the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And at this point, this is going to be a little sealed there. It's going to be stuck basically. And you just grab your little flathead and you just pull it forward a bit. Hopefully, just a matter of, it's pretty strong. Feels like it must be like, oh, there it comes. I feel like it might be these 2 10mm here. So we're going to undo them. 1, 2. Let's see what that does. I'm going to tuck these 2 grommets through with a screwdriver. See if they're the one that's the problem holding this window reg on. Something's holding it, guys. I'm not sure exactly at this stage. Alrighty guys, so I pulled this end out here. There's a little grommet there that stops it from being taken that way. And then I just pulled on it this direction and it undid. And then you can just take these little grommets straight through like we said before. Same thing here. Actually, we're going to leave that. And hopefully the window reg's just going to come this way for a sec. Yep, it is. And then you want to undo the plug that goes into the actuator. So by pressing down on the plug just here. You'll see it there when you're in there. It's nice and easy to see. So you just pull down on that plug. So the plug's just there. Pull down on it. You can now take Oh, there's another one of those clips on the other side of this panel. Remember that clip that you have to press on each side? 1, 2, pull the wiring through, all the way through, and there's your panel there, guys, nice and easy. Alrighty guys, so let's pull out the two regs and have a comparison and get ready to put the new one in the car. Whole thing out of the box. There's nothing else in the box. Just throw it out of the way. And there you go there. So obviously this is the other side. So there it is there. As you can see, they already come pre-made, ready to go. So you literally just put your motor from your old reg, this one here, little 8 mils, smack them on there, about 1 finger tight. Don't use a rattle gun because you might thread the threads. And yeah, so you just swap that over, swap this little sensor over to here, flip her over. Of course, swap this plastics part, which is super straightforward. You can just press down on that tab right there, and then you just bring this plastic this direction, put your foot on it like so, and this plastic will just pop this way. And it's the same thing on this side, but here you just press it in, it clips in, and of course at that point you're then good to throw your Parts Factory Australia new Tucson window regulator in. Alrighty guys, so I just wanted to give you a quick look at the new one before we continue. Just stick it on top of the old one. Now, with the old ones, the issue was with these little plastic pulleys. They actually basically break down on this little bearing here, and of course you lose tension and eventually it all snaps. But another thing is these runners here. Now, if you notice the difference between the old one, see how it's like a skeleton design, and this thick sort of, basically what I'm trying to say guys is our new models that we've designed have a thicker plastic base, and it's basically designed so that if you have this Tucson for the next couple, 4 or 5 years, it's not just going to break. Say you went and got a genuine one, break again in 2 years, Parts Factory, you're good to go guys, another 5-6 years. And of course they come with a 3-year warranty anyway, so if it's what you need, jump on the Webby and grab it. Alrighty guys, it's now time to perform the exact same procedure, but of course in reverse. There are a few little bits and pieces that we'll have to run you through though, including lining up this plastic white part. That can be basically the hardest part, but of course do not forget to put your actuator plug through this hole before you get started. You can even put the grommet in so that you don't have to come back to this part. So you're lining that up, put the grommet in like so. Now you bring the plug over, plug it into the actuator, and of course run these little door handle lines through the holes, 1, and of course number 2. And remember, you don't want to have them mixed up, so make sure you got the bottom one on the bottom and the top one on the top. So at this point, you can now bring it all the way up and in, and then of course we want to see if we can line up this door lock actuator inside. See this little male part? There's a female part, opposite female part, up inside the door. If you have a look on your car, you're going to be able to see that nice and clearly. Same thing down here guys, so you actually do have to spend a little bit of time just lining these two parts up. So I'll give it a go now and we'll see how we go, eh? Yep, so they went straight in. You just had to line it up from the start. And same thing down here guys, there's a little hook which you've got to line up. Now don't forget your 2 little main support 10 mils over here. 1, these ones do hold a lot of the weight, or I guess a lot of the forces. 1 and 2. Now you've got your little grommets that you pull through here, so pull them right through and they will seal up nicely. That's basically for road noise and moisture guys, so make sure that's done properly, especially on such a late model car. Now it's now time to run all of the 10 mils around the outside. So I'll skip forward to when I've completed that. Alrighty guys, it's now time to put the majority of our wiring back into place. You've got that one there. Don't forget your little crash sensor just here. Now, what else do we have? We have this one, which is all for the door card, but basically guys, do it in reverse. Find the nearest little inserts for each part. This one here. You see how by doing it in reverse, you can kind of backwards engineer where all the little plugs go. Some of them you won't be able to, and that's perfectly okay. They don't all technically have to go into the exact place they once were. But if you can, try and get them to. You can drag them along the wire, finding the correct place like so. Now these ones for the two switches. Of course you got one up here. Now don't forget your little plastic handle sort of trim piece. Yeah, so you can put them kind of like that, spin it around. You just got to make sure you have the orientations right, I think. Yeah, so you can kind of just drag it in there, you know. It's not the best design, but as you can see, I've just done it. So put this ends in, and then put these ends in, and then just leave them sitting there like so. Right, so at this point, guys, it's now time to put your door glass back in. So go and grab your door glass, and you literally just lower it into the door, like you'd think. However, just make sure, see this trim, you can pull that trim off, lower it in. Once you've kind of got it halfway in, you can put the trim back in, but I'm just going to see if I can get it to line up before we do anything else. So it has to line up on the seals of the doors on each side, so make sure, so I got mine in this seal here, and the same thing over here, and then as you push it down, hopefully it will find its resting spot, which it appears it may have for me, hopefully. You kind of got to line it up, guys, and there's no other way around it, so just get it to line up. Alrighty guys, so to get this door glass in, what I did is I made sure that each side was lined up perfectly. Of course, the window regulator is exactly where it belongs, and then as I brought it down, I made sure that it was perfectly perpendicular with this window sill, so that the clip came down and lined up nicely. Before that, the window was slightly crooked, and I just couldn't get this clip to line up. And yeah, that's my little tip of the day if you want to get it done nice and easily. Now, do not forget your two little 10 mils. They're going to go through the door. Now, don't forget you can use a little magnet to make your life easier. So you can literally just put it on the end, put it in the hole, and then you can, of course, turn it a little bit and then finish the job off later with another kind of tool, like a little rattle gun. Nice and tight, but not too tight. You can actually now check to see it's clipped in there nicely, which mine feels like it is. So at that point, of course, it's now time to put your speaker back on. Now the plug came from the side, I believe, or maybe underneath, or hang on, we'll spin it around till we work it out. What have we got? We got this little divot here. So this little yellow tag here gets this little male part up here, so you can just line that male part up, plugging it in. Of course, you got your little Phillips head screws. You can stab them in with your hand, literally like this. They are self-tapping screws. Missed slightly. There we go. My speaker wasn't fully put in properly. Again, just come down here like so. They're self-tapping screws, so they'll just tap into the thread. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like so. Make sure they're pretty tight, otherwise you'll get rattles when you're listening to your pumping beats. Now, the last thing would be, of course, to plug your speaker in, which is just this little white cable over here. So you can just bring it over, plug it in. Hopefully it's nice and easy. It's upside down. And then, of course, this little tag here, there's one here, 2, and then you have your little grommets, 1 and 2. You can just push into there. And then, of course, as you can clearly see, it's just door card in, and we're good to go. Alrighty guys, so the door glass is back in. The wiring is all reattached, everything is tight. It's now time to give your glass a bit of a clean, because once you put this trim back on, you're never going to be able to get in here this easy again. So give your door glass a bit of a clean, because you've just put all your fingerprints and all your oil over your hands, all over the glass. Once you're happy, grab your door window seal, work out which way it's going, which it's going to go facing this direction, and you actually just press it in, bring it all the way along. And the final step, guys, as you already have realized, is to put your door card back on. Now, after doing this job, I've realized that this entire door card is only held on by 1 screw, which is really good. Really, really, really good. That's terrible. Definitely going to run into dramas with the door card falling off in the past or in the future. Right guys, so plug your master control switch back in, etc, etc. Don't forget your little tweeter, which is just this little plug here, and then of course your door handle, lining it up into place, clicking it in, raising your door card into position, like so. It hangs over the top like a clothesline. If you try and put this screw in while it's not hanging, it's going to look all whack. So once it's hanging, it should literally support its own weight, and you can go around the edge, clicking it in, all the clips. And at this point, before you go any further, it's now time to test your window regulator to make sure everything's working as intended. So fire up the car, window up, just be gentle. Because we're doing it for the first time, and obviously you're not a licensed mechanic, etc., you want to make sure that it is going to seem to stop on its own. You can see that this one's stopped perfectly on its own. There's no noises, no clicking, everything seems to be mint. You're all good to now finish off wiping down your window, throw your screw in the top here, give your door card a wipe down, get rid of all of your little oil and stuff, grab your little plastic trim. Again, it's a good time to give it a little clean, because there's going to be a line of gunk and debris that you can get rid of. And of course, bring it up, pop it in, and you're good to go, guys. That's how you replace a window regulator in a Tucson in under, what, 20 minutes? Something like that. Bloody awesome. Alrighty guys, all done. The whole job complete in under 25 minutes, which is absolutely incredible, considering if you went to Hyundai or maybe to your local repair shop, you'd ordered this part with them, they would have charged you $400, $500, $600. And then they would have charged you two hours labor. And these days, we all know how much labor costs. It's $100 an hour minimum. You're looking at a $700, $800 job. You've just done it yourself in 25 minutes, all $300 through Parts Factory Australia. So you really can't go wrong with that. Guys, if you have appreciated this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're doing this type of stuff all the time, perhaps you're working on your own cars at home, maybe you're a dealer, a car dealer, buying and selling, subscribe to the channel. We've got heaps of content that can help you do your own type of stuff all at the comfort of your own home, guys. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. My name's Lucas, and I'll see you next time.